South Alabama and Tulane is one of the most underrated games of the week. And if you are a true college football fan, you know the importance of this game. You know where the group of five has gone in terms of AAC versus Sun Belt. The rise of the Sun Belt last year was really exciting to watch. But if you're just a casual college football fan, maybe you didn't pay attention to that. Maybe you didn't realize what was happening. Tulane's run last year was one of the more exciting runs in 2023 and kind of flew under the radar until they beat USC and Caleb Williams. And now they're looking to retain their crown in a new AAC. They have a target on their back, a team that was 2-10 2 years ago, wins multiple double-digit games, and you're looking at a team that now is in a different place. You're looking at the different role for them. They are the favorites. They have a target on their back, and they're facing a South Alabama team that also had a breakout year. This was a team that had an explosive offense, a team that can put up points in a hurry. Major Applewhite does an incredible job of calling that offense, and they return quite a bit of talent to continue that trend in 2023. So can Tulane handle that pressure? That's probably the biggest thing that we'll talk about this year is, can Tulane be the favorite, or are they more suited for being the underdog? Do they like being in that position where everyone doubts them? No one really knows what to expect. Well, now that's gone. And then really, I think the biggest thing is this offense will look different. Michael Pratt has to find new pass catchers and new go-to pass catchers. Now, the nice thing was he is very good at distributing the ball. If you go back and look at the catches for the last 2 years, it was like 35, 36 catches was the most any receiver had in terms of receptions the last 2 years. So you look at the distribution of his passes, he does not lock in on one guy. He is not reliant upon one player to get open. And maybe that speaks to the depth of the wide receiver position, the pass catchers. But I think that that's going to help them tremendously because teams know, well, yeah, Jaquan Jackson is back. He's the leading returning receiver, but Pratt's not going to focus in on him. Yes, he's going to find Jackson and get him the ball because he's an explosive playmaker, but there are other options that they can utilize. The same can be said, though, for South Alabama. This is a team with a ton of talented pass catchers, and I think that you're looking at, if you look at Boyson, Lacey, Javon Ivory, there are plenty of options for Carter Bradley to utilize. So these are two guys that will not lock into one player. They will distribute the ball and let their playmakers do the rest. And that's a big thing. I think an underrated element, and I don't think that Tulane can look ahead because they've never had to look ahead. And even last year, when they were headed into the AAC championship, they did not look past anyone. They have a game against Ole Miss next week. Will they look past South Alabama for that game? I don't think so because South Alabama commands that respect. They command more than just oh well, this is our week 1 game, should be an easy win. That's not the case. South Alabama will give Tulane everything that they can handle and then some, and Tulane knows that. The Green Wave will not take them lightly. They will not just gloss over this game because they have Ole Miss. I think that this is going to be an absolute dogfight, and it'll be really fun to watch these two quarterbacks play. Carter Bradley made a tough decision to transfer from Toledo. He could have stuck around, but obviously he wanted to play, so he transfers to South Alabama. No guarantee that he was going to play, but he found a way to get in the starting lineup, and then last year he found a way to thrive. Over 3,300 yards and 28 touchdowns. You'd like to see him reduce those interceptions. 12 last year is going to make life difficult if you're trying to win a Sun Belt championship. And they were close last year, but they didn't quite make it. So now they get a chance to elevate their game, take their game to a new level, take this program to new heights, and win that conference championship. Quarterback play will make an impact on that. You look at the skill position talent they have returning. There's no reason why this can't be one of the best offenses in college football. There's no reason why this team can't compete for a conference championship. And he's competing with another player who had a great season. Michael Pratt had the biggest year of his career last year, 3,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, did a little bit better of taking care of the football with just 5 interceptions. His story is incredible, and I think that he is set to have another good year for Tulane. And like I said before, he's not going to lock in on anybody. He's not going to rely on one player to help him out, and he can also utilize his legs to get him out of jams as well. So that's another thing that is going in Tulane's favor. And One thing to keep an eye on is these defenses. You look at South Alabama, they return quite a bit of talent at every single level. There's a lot of good depth, there's a lot of good experience on both sides of the football, but South Alabama's defense returns a number of key playmakers that were really good for them last year. Same thing for Tulane. Now, the biggest losses they sustained were Nick Anderson and Dorian Williams at linebacker. So, linebacker is a question. They do bring in Tyler Grubbs from Louisiana Tech. That was a solid addition, but this is a defense on the defensive line and in the secondary that appear to be set. It's just a matter of what does the linebacker position do. And they face an offense in South Alabama that will test those linebackers that are going to make them make plays. And this is a defense that they were really good last year. I think that watching Patrick Jenkins in that battle in the trenches will play a big role, but these are two teams that can get the job done offensively. And it's just a matter of really which defense is able to take a step forward. If I'm picking this game, Tulane is the favorite, and I can see why, but do not sleep on South Alabama. I don't think that is a wise decision because if Tulane needs to figure things out and they get off to a slow start, South Alabama is not going to wait around, and Major Applewhite knows how to put points on the board and put the pressure on the Green Wave.